Game on! Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a 30-year-old from Vojens, Denmark. His hockey journey has taken him to Denmark and Sweden. Came up as a puppy in Sønderjyske, or Vojens, Denmark. Mucked it up for Team Denmark in the under 17s, 18s, 19s, and 20s. Won a gold helmet with yours truly that he better have because it takes everyone to win, and he was a part of it. And I recall we had a late night that night. Good thing we had gold helmets to protect ourselves. He did get crushed a few times in his playing days and then jumped right into coaching in 14-15, working his way right up to now being the behind the bench that gave me a gold helmet. Sønderjyske, welcome on, Casper Stockfish.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Man, it's been a long time. I haven't seen you since 2014 after we won.
Yeah, I think I was lucky if I could grow a mustache back then. And yeah,
Now you got a full beard.
it's been a while. Now I'm going full beard. Yeah, gotta get the age up a little bit, or at least try to look a little bit older when you're coaching at 30.
Um, I I should try to keep this professional, but the memory of you I have, I got a couple. But after we won the gold helmets, we
Yeah,
I believe we got away from the rest of the guys, lost the other gold helmets, and we ended up at a place very late. And then we
yeah.
were in Hatterslav and couldn't get a ride back to Vojens. Do you remember that?
Yes, sounds about right. Yeah, I think we found a little sneaky bar that we went off to. I think was it perhaps the Finnish D we had with us, Skansen, in at that point.
Who?
And Ansel Johnson, and wasn't it that maybe
Mm.
it wasn't that year, but
No, yeah, Antsy was there. Oh yeah, what a
yeah,
when that guy had a couple beers. Look out, Girl
oh yeah,
Scouts, eh?
oh yeah, yeah.
Did you heard about the story when he got naked at the bowling alley?
No, no,
Oh,
never.
it happened. We were having like a normal night at the bowling alley, like just having a few beers, and that guy got some into him, and man, he got naked at the bowling alley. That's not okay.
But at least it leads to a great story, eh?
Right. But we did find our way back, and you need the local guys to help you out when you move over to Denmark. And you got me home
Yeah,
that night.
I remember. Yeah, we went home safe and sound, at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
decently.
And actually, the other way we know each other is your old man is who signed me to come to Denmark and gave me an opportunity after I was done in Germany. And he was a great guy. He treated everybody, he was nice to everybody. And I still remember the day we were having like a team meal in that back room and you were playing for the juniors and you got crushed and you got concussed and just seeing your dad and how worried he was, I could tell how much he cared about you.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. I don't remember the moment. I had a little bit going on there with a big German Russian guy who I think it was a cross check to the neck and then a few punches when I went down there. But yeah, I remember there was a little bit of afterplay with both my dad and Chris Straube as well with getting a little bit into it with the coaches from the other team.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, you see dirty shit in hockey that is just out there to hurt a guy. That's not what we need. Everybody's out there to play hockey, muck it up, have fun, and respect each other, you know?
Exactly, exactly.
So, yeah, I was sorry to hear about your old man, because he was a
Thank
great
you.
guy. It's weird when you're a proud guy and a hockey player. I was treated great in Sønderjyske, had a great year playing with Quirky, and then we won the championship, and then was on cloud nine, like I'm back after, leaving Germany, and then I went in for my exit meeting 2 days later, and they're like, "Nah, we don't want you back." And I was like, so, being a proud guy, I was
Yeah,
pretty pissed off for a bit there, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But I heard they wanted bigger guys, and I can't be bigger, so I don't know how to fix that. And then I
No,
also heard something about spending more money on Danish players instead of imports or something, some kind of thing they told me just leave.
Yeah.
But anyways, I got over it because Dan Seaman, the coach that year, called me in the summer and he's like, Wally, I told you I'd give you a great reference. Like what's going on? I haven't had one call about you all summer. And I had an agent who's giving me all
Yeah.
this baloney that there's actually stuff when there's not stuff. And then Seaman told me that, and I was like, well, that's weird that nobody's even contacted you. So then I went out and did things on my own and got offers from the UK League. And then Dan put in good words for me. He told me where to play, where not to. And then Sønderjyske asking me to leave led me to Cardiff, and maybe I was upset at first, but that was a game changer for me. Went to a new team. We won a trophy the next year after they had finished ninth. They took care of me and got me my schooling. So when my knee went a year later, I was ready for the real world. And Cardiff has been like a second home to me since. I've been invited back 4 or 5 times. And if I would have stayed in Sønderjyske another year, I wouldn't have my schooling, and it would have changed my whole life.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
all works out in
Goes
the
back to
wash,
the
they say,
saying,
right?
yeah, everything happens for a reason. Sometimes it can be hard to see, but
Right.
yeah, that's how it is sometimes.
So now that you're on the other side, I guess you'll know how upsetting it can be for a guy not to be asked back when they thought they did good. So you're into recruiting, signing, firing players. Have you had to do that yet?
Not don't not firing players, but yeah, having exit
Letting
meetings,
go.
telling them, then letting go that we're not putting in an offer for an extension at least. But I think in Denmark you're getting into that more and more players are signing earlier, like you see a little bit in Switzerland, and guys more or less know if they haven't got an offer in April from the team that they're currently in, they start to see the writing on the wall there. So I think everyone is expecting it a little bit more now, and we don't see players as often staying long term in one club. You played with Jason Walters and Corey, who was there for a couple of years, Del Andrews multiple years, Alfie multiple years, and Tyler Gatto as well. You don't see that as often more in Sønderjyske or in general in Danish
Why
hockey.
would that be? Because for me, I like coaching and I've my teams have switched quite a bit each year, going from girls to boys to different age groups. But I think once you get a culture and a way of doing hockey, yeah, especially as imports, you think those guys are going to be your leaders. Wouldn't you want to keep them around and build off of a year to the next year?
Definitely, and I think in Denmark right now we have that you can spend a maximum of 6.5 million Danish kroners per year on players, and then
You guys got a
depending on how
salary cap?
we got a salary cap, yeah. So
Is
obviously
that
we're
enough money
also
for the guys to be taken care of? I don't remember the exchange rate.
it's around 900,000 euro, I think, perhaps something like that. But it's enough to sign a full team and have most of the players being professional. But it's hard to be competitive with leagues who doesn't have a salary cap. Then you might have an import who's been doing very well, but you can't give him those 5,000 euro extra for the next season, and then you get outbid by SL. England, Germany too, or Norway, similar leagues to Denmark, then you get outbid and you don't have that extra gap in the finances to
No,
sign
that
the
that
guy.
makes
And
perfect sense. Yeah, like Denmark's always been like a feeder league to Sweden or Finland or Germany. Like Quirky ran amok. He was a second league German. Then he ran amok in Sønderjyske for years and kept winning.
yeah,
And then he goes to the DL, and then he's a DL player for years.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you don't see that option as much in Denmark anymore. I think when most of the other European leagues have went up money wise, I think the Danish league has been stable on how much they pay players, especially imports since actually you've been here.
Right. And another guy that I wrote down some of the names of the guys I've had on that were on that team, but one guy that was there a long time that is just a beauty is Daryl Andrews.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah.
That guy was there for years too. He'd always laugh to me about it because he's like, they pay me way more money than I'd make anywhere else. Why do you think I stay here every year? He's like, I'm grandfathered in. He's like, we used to make money here. Guys aren't making as much now, but I still make the same. He's a funny guy. He still sends me photos of him and his kid. He, he's got a
Oh,
son now,
perfect.
and man, I tell you, he's raising that kid to be a beauty too from the pictures I've seen.
He's turning out to be a big guy too.
Oh, the last picture he sent me was his little kid playing mini hockey with a cowboy hat on.
Oh, that's
Uh,
perfect.
so I'm just gonna go with it here. So you're the head coach now. You
Yeah.
stopped playing the year after I was there, and then you just jumped
Yeah.
right into coaching, eh?
Yeah, I started volunteer coaches. I think it was for 3 seasons in the youth department and being around almost every age group and working with some good coaches there on the second team on the juniors there. If you remember Casper, who was the assistant coach, he was the head coach at that time. So it was easy for
Chris
him
Straub
to
was the
kind of
head coach of what?
of the junior team when he was also the assistant coach at Sønderjyske back then.
Right, he used to do both. Right, I
Yeah,
remember that.
so he it was an easy way in for me to be still be around him, and he took very good care of me
Be around him, but
from the
also be
start.
around hockey if you're not going to play, right?
Ex
Like you were a hockey guy,
exactly.
or you are a hockey
Exactly,
guy.
and I grew up with hockey, and I didn't really have a plan B. Like I guess that you've had the same feeling. You don't have that plan B, and you don't know what's the next step if you don't have hockey. And I've been fortunate enough to never have to completely leave hockey at least. And I think those 3 years as a volunteer coach gave me a lot and gave me a lot of knowledge also, and getting stop playing a little bit on a distance to get ready mentally to actually becoming a full-time coach by the age of, I think I was 23 when I signed for the first time as full-time.
Wow, 23 years old, and it is different being a player and a coach. It's like for me, when I was done, I didn't start coaching for a few years. My kids were too young. I helped out with a senior team when I could with the children, but um,
Mm.
just being around a team and everything brings it all back. But I dabbled into coaching my first year back, and then I missed being part of the guys and all that. That I actually tried to play the next year, and I did play
Mm.
about 10 games in the playoffs, and it was full contact, the full deal with the Ripley Wolves, and being around hockey guys again, being around a team. I just didn't feel ready to be a coach. I wanted to be a part of it still, even though I shouldn't
Mm.
have with my knee, but I did. And then once I was done that and I started coaching kids, I'm over the playing hockey part. I just want to coach.
Mm.
And it's a hoot being a part of a team, but it's so different, right? The game ends and all the guys are going to do stuff together. And you would have
Yeah.
had a weird time as a 23-year-old because you kind of have to separate yourself a bit, right?
Yeah, and I think I look back at it as actually being a little bit lucky that I didn't have a long career as a player, because I think that helped me adjust earlier to being a coach. And when I signed there in the juniors the first time, I worked with U16, U17 players, and on the first division, the second league team, and I think I was lucky that I didn't get that long of a playing career. So the adjustment for me went a little bit faster, and I didn't have that the
Yeah. The
same
same
gap
tie
feeling
to
in
it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I wish I could have played longer, but I think for looking back at it now, I was actually in a lucky position that I could start coaching early, and I didn't have that long professional career, and looking back at it and missing those extra things about it.
Yeah, no, and there's other guys just like yourself. I know the University of Denver has this coach that like could go to the NHL whenever he wants. They're winning all the time, and he's like 30 years old. And I guess
Mm.
he signed to go to the school and then for some reason couldn't play, so became a volunteer coach at like 18 years old. And now you see he's been coaching his whole life and he's continued
Yeah.
to learn instead of just playing. It's like I feel like I was always learning playing, and I thought as I got older, I got slower, but I was
Mm.
smarter than I was when I was faster,
Yeah, yeah.
if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
makes sense. Yeah, but I think you study the game so much from a different perspective. When you know now I want to get into coaching, you study the game. You get curious about solutions to things when you're watching a hockey game. And I think if you have that curiosity in you as a young coach, I think that's something you need to that needs to be a part of you in everything that you do in order to learn to think in new ways and learn to take those risks and learn to handle those adversities that will come, and especially as a young coach maybe haven't been in positions like that even as a player.
It is it's different what you see standing behind the bench than when you're in the game. It's like when I'm watching a game as a coach now, I see like what's an obvious penalty, like what's
Mm.
not, and what you're doing to make it an obvious penalty. It's like especially coaching kids when they go into a corner and they put their hands up. It's like, well, you're gonna get a penalty. Keep your stick down, you know? And it's just a different outlook. And then when I'm watching the game, I watch it differently now as a coach because I'm
Mm.
like, okay, what are they doing to get out of their zone? Where do we need to be on the forecheck and all those things instead of, okay, who do I got next? I got to watch him because when he comes off, I got to go.
Yeah, and it just opens up a different world, and it's especially also if you're watching a game from up high and comparing it to the bench there. You I think everyone is looking to coaches that they see the entire game and they know everything what's happening, and especially and I felt that with moving up the ladder, that when you get to men's league top professional players there, you don't see anything. You don't have time to see everything, because all of a sudden you start coaching a guy on the bench. Something happens on the ice that you have to see, to re-see or redo or talk to the player, and you're especially we're only two coaches, so you're always a little bit behind as a coach in every aspect, because when you have the when you start coaching the players and start showing them things and on the bench, then okay, all of a sudden you might miss something that happens on the ice, and you're getting into to that, and we actually just got a third coach in there, so we have a guy handling forwards and D's and me in between, and that has been a huge gift for me, to having time to coach the team even more, and don't have to worry about changes, matching up lines, and all those small details.
So I know every coach does it differently. I'm coaching minor hockey, and
Mm.
you've been through all the different things now. I was a head coach. Well, not I was a co-coach the first year we won all Ontario, but I ran the forwards and my partner ran the D, but we did everything together. And then the next year I was the head coach, but I ran the forwards again. And one of my best buddies around here ran the D, who's a hockey guy, and we won again. And it was incredible. But now this year, I'm the assistant coach, and it isn't it interesting going through the ranks,
Mm.
knowing your role as a hockey guy, like hockey guys that come up that get it and know what their role is on a team and will just go out and do that. That's what
Mm.
I try to do as an assistant coach. It's like, well, okay, what drills are we doing? Where are you going to need the pucks so we can keep things moving? And then he's been nice enough to give me the D to run, but then I also get to have my talk with just the D before games, and in practices I get a little bit of time with just the D and I can work on whatever I want, and then it gives me more, I don't know, I feel like I'm doing more when he gives me those things. And
Mm.
but you got to know your role, and it's like when you're the head coach, you're the head coach. When you're the assistant coach, it's like what do you want me to do, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true, and I think it's especially that part of communication and being strong on, okay, how are we dividing up the video, how are we handling things on the bench in practices. When we're fortunate enough now to have three coaches, we know we can have a coach on the forwards all the time, we can have a coach on the D all the time, we can have a head coach who can
So
make
is
sure
that how
things
you do it
are
then?
running.
You have a guy running the forwards, a guy running the D, and then you can just talk to who you need to in between shifts. And if
Yeah,
you're saying I want this line going against that line, you can watch the game more then.
yeah, I can watch the game more and have more time to talk to the players on the bench. There, we're a pretty young team. I think our average age is just a little bit over 23. We signed some very young Danish guys and that was a part of the strategy that we put in for the season. That okay, we're signing young, very talented Danish guys. Actually, we have a 19-year-old who already played with the senior national team.
Really? What's his
And
name?
we yeah, we actually have two. We have a guy named Victor Smith Nielsen, a D-man. He played in Frölunda last season in Sweden, and then we have Albert Schollidan, who's he played in Sweden as well last season in HV71, and that's obviously players that we want to build on. But when you're that young, we talked a lot about okay, we're expecting to have a longer phase of getting the team running here in the start. That we have to be a different team from September when we're going into February because guys are getting more and more experienced, and that's
So
something
those
that
young
takes
kids
time
are
to
probably
coach in.
playing some big minutes if they're good, eh?
I would say they're averaging somewhere for the D at between 18 and 22, and for the forward 16 to 19 minutes per game playing PP and PK.
Right. And yeah, like that is different, right? Than bringing in me and Quirky and Gatto and then all of a
Spelling.
sudden well, spelling. I got to tell you a funny story because I know we haven't
Yeah,
been following each other much here, but I have a Danish stalker gal. So
yeah.
I started the Twix throwing in Herning back when Matt Caruth
Mm,
was there. We did that through the podcast. So we started that, and then there was a night there was like 1,005 Twix on the ice, and he was going for the shutout record or something. And I was watching all this from here, which is hilarious. But years like through that, a gal from Herning would write to me and send me pictures of Mac, and then because I have this Team Denmark shirt, Thomas Spelling was my line mate and
mm,
made Team Denmark for the first time as just a puppy when he was like 20 years old. And he
mm.
gave me both. I have two of them, by the way. This one's painted on a bit. It's been a lot of years, but the other one's fresh. I just couldn't find it. But Spelling gave me his shirts after he went to Team Denmark. And like the things you don't realize you're going to really care about. I've kept these shirts forever that the puppy I was playing with makes Team Denmark for the first time and then gives me his shirts. That's cool.
Yeah.
But my creepy stalker Danish gal, because Spelling won't come on the podcast, she keeps sending me pictures of his butt. Every time he bends over during a game, she takes a picture of his butt, sends it to me, and then I get to post it saying, "When are you gonna come on?" So I feel like he's gonna get some kind of issues in his head
Yeah.
because every time he bends over for a face off, someone's taking a picture of his butt.
Yeah, we're I'm playing spelling on Wednesday, so I can give him a little heads up there if you need me to.
Please tell Thomas that I still love my shirts and his English is good enough and he could talk to me. He was
I
always a
will.
shy
I will.
boy, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he was. But what an incredible line with you, Corey, and Thomas back then. That was unreal.
You know, you see it as a coach, and I've had interesting situations where I'm trying to balance out three lines. So maybe
Mm,
there's a kid that's kind of getting screwed. He's not playing with the kids he wants to play with. But when you get a hockey season, when you get to play with the guys exactly who you want to play with, and hockey's so much fun when you get to play with really good players. But then there
yeah,
are
yeah.
years where you got to suck it up for the team, and this
Mm,
is what the coach is asking. So I'm going to do the best I can with the guys I'm playing with, right?
mm, mm.
But that
Yeah,
that
that's
that was
true.
that was a line.
Oh yeah, that was incredible. That was incredible.
Um, question right behind me, right there,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
my gold helmet. Did you get one that year? Because I saw that season you played 23 games for our team, and I remember you being around all the time until that concussion. You were a part of it, and I always say it takes everyone to win. You were a part of the team, but you're also doing the juniors. Did you get a gold helmet not playing the playoffs?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Yes, I
You
did.
should get one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I would say I got one more now from the coaching season, and that one is it was a big one for me.
I can't imagine yeah, after everything you went through with the head being out of hockey or playing, and then working your way up from coaching the kids and whatever to then winning a gold helmet as a coach. That's hockey, baby.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a fairy tale. It was a fairy tale for me when it happened. That was unreal.
Well, you were like 17 years old or something when I played with you. And when we were, I don't know how old you were, but we were out that night. And it doesn't take long to figure out who the good dudes are around. And I always liked you as one of the puppies that you were always willing to learn. You didn't have any attitude. You just wanted to be a part of it, and you always had a smile on your face. And I think that's how hockey teams win is having the best people around, you know?
I agree, and thank you for those words, of course. But it
Well, it's
I
also
think
because you
back
got
then it
me
was
home from Hatterslav the
yeah
night
yeah
when
yeah.
we had our gold helmets on.
I still have a little good feeling from that. No, but we see the same here. You know, when you see a dynamic in a group, and I think you can even see it on the juniors. I remember one season when I was coaching the juniors. U17. We had a group. We have a border school here where players they can live on the school. They study there and then they play hockey
You
at
have
the
that in
same time. And
Vojens?
we have that in Vojens, yeah.
So
We have
people
that in
move
Vojens.
away from home to come live at the school and then play hockey all the time?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
like
then
the
they
new
still
way of
get their.
hockeying, isn't it? That's
Oh
happening in
yeah,
Canada too.
yeah. We could do it that for ninth grade, and then they have to go into the gymnasium, and then they have different educations for that. But we had a year with a lot of good guys coming in. We had a lot of good local guys as well, and you just got that feeling that something special was there, and we won. We got a silver medal that season, and it was such a fun group to work with, and now a couple of years after that, I think we seven out of those 20 guys we had on that team ended up playing senior hockey in the next couple of years after. Just looking back at that, and I'm even coaching a few of the guys right now on the Sønderjyske team.
Um, that's incredible. And I totally agree. In every league in Europe and wherever you want coming up, the local players, when they can play, changes everything.
Yeah.
Coming up in Elmira, Ontario, me and my buddies could play.
Mm.
We won the Sutherland Cup with the Elmira Sure Kings, and half of our team was from Elmira, and they were the kids I
Mm.
came up with. And then you sprinkle in everybody else, and it just works because you already have the guys from there, the core that knows what's going
Yeah.
on, and then you bring in the other guys, and then you win. And it was the same thing in Voyance when I went there. It was the same
Mm.
thing in Landshut when I went there, which I get to go back to Landshut, Germany in February to play a hockey game, which is really cool. Because I only played one season there, and they're inviting me back and flying me back to play in a charity game. And I only played one
Awesome.
season there 18 years ago, which is crazy. But their team, when I got there, that brought back my love of hockey, were a bunch of
Mm.
beauties from Landshut, Germany. And then you bring in the imports, and then they bring you in and make you feel comfortable. And then you're
Yeah.
a part of their family too. That's how you win. And then in Voyance, you're the team we won with. There was so many good Voyance players. Mads Lund, Stefan
Yeah.
Frank. It was like our team was built of guys that came from that tiny little town in Denmark.
Yeah, yeah, and I can see this all the same from when I was growing up. We had in my age group, if you remember, Dow, he was the
Oh
same age
yeah.
as me.
He was a
Daniel Koenig.
talented little bugger.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Could have gotten out a lot more of his talent. Unfortunately, injuries killed him a bit there too early. But even Daniel Koenig, who played 650 games in the Metal League, Christopher Moore, I think you played a few games with him as well
Oh
there.
yeah.
Martin Eskilsen, Thomas Lilje. We had so many good
Daniel
players back
Galbraith.
then. Oh yeah, as well. Yeah, we we had the like a little goodbye ceremony for Daniel Koenig yesterday when we played a game that he retired before the season.
Yeah, I know. I tried to have that good-looking guy on, and he said he can't. He's too shy. It's not for him. But I tried to have him on last season when he was retiring, and he was scared of me. I appreciate you not being scared of me, you know?
Of course not.
But
Going
it's
back to that
interesting. When I
Hattersley
played in
moment.
Denmark, everybody's English was good enough. It wasn't like when I first went to Germany and guys would speak German, and then when they were talking to you, they'd speak English. When we were in Vojens, like most of the talk was in English.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably not going on now that you're signing Swedes and Finns, though, eh?
I think we actually got a Czech guy as well. So we
You got a
got
mixed bag
almost
of nuts over there, eh?
oh yeah, we got a lot of different nationalities. We actually looked at a Hungarian D at one point as well, but I said too little, too much. Bring in one more nationality there, but no, actually. Most of the talk is in English, and most of the guys understand. Everyone understands it perfectly fine in our locker room, and of
So when
course
you're
sometimes
doing a talk before the game, it's in English still?
it's in English. Yeah, it's in English. We have Angelo Michelli, who's Italian Canadian, and then we have Matthew Cockroot, who's half American, half Canadian.
Mm. Okay, I saw that the Italian Canadian, he's doing well for you. And because I was looking, I'm like, when I was in Sønderjyske, it was all Canadians. And then when I was looking at the imports now, that wasn't the case. And I was like, gonna have to ask him about this because I mean, every season's different. I've never played with a bad Swede or Finn ever in my life. Um, Finns can get after it. And Swedes are just the nicest guys ever. I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush, but that's what I saw.
Yeah. No, but I think in general in Danish hockey, you're seeing a lot of Swedish guys playing here now, and I think it's been healthy for the league, and I think it has made the league a little bit more tactical than what you saw before when you had more North American players. It was a little bit more rushes, go quick turn ups on pucks. Now it's when it's a little bit more Swedish based. It's a little bit more systematic. It's a little bit more passive hockey perhaps, but I like the mix that we have both Swedes and we have North American players because I think both sides brings a lot to the table there.
And like for me, traveling around, being a suitcase, being asked to kindly leave places, I played in a lot of few different countries, and every country plays hockey differently. And
Mm.
it's weird because then you come back to small town Ontario and you get back to the old arenas you grew up on. And then you see that some towns are hockey towns and some towns are just not. They have minor hockey, they just don't know how to do it. But like where I just got very lucky. I moved to Kincardine where my family cottage was and didn't know many people. And then coaching kids, you get to know everybody. You get to know the parents, the kids. And then come years later, you have like a whole team of people. And they know how to hockey in Kincardine, and that's how we've won. But I always say it comes from the people that raise you, the type of people you are, the town you come from, and Voyance is not much different than Kincardine, Ontario.
You
You
know
guys
it's a
have
very
roundabouts.
small
We
city.
just don't have roundabouts.
Yeah, it's and I think even the city has gotten a bit smaller since you were here. We definitely don't have as many stores as we used to have, but it's a nice little hockey town, and everyone knows hockey and everyone likes hockey, and it's just a big part of the identity of the town and has been for many years, and having the complete Sønderjyske package in the local area with football, handball, and hockey has I think it has really put this area of Denmark on the maps with regarding sports.
Yeah, that brings back a memory. I remember going to the football game for Sønderjyske with the guy or a few of the guys, and we sat in a VIP area. They gave us food and drinks, and it it made it feel more like if wouldn't it make it feel just a touch more like a family? Like you're not the only Sønderjyske team. There's another one, and it's football, and then
Exactly.
there's another one. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that that has been a big strength in this region for a long time now. That now football has separate owners, hockey has separate owners, and handball has separate owners. But everyone is still working underneath Sønderjyske and plays with the same logo. And I think especially for players coming from abroad, from North America, from Sweden, it's just a nice way to identify with the sport that okay, there's also handball players who wears the same logo as we are.
Well, the one thing I liked about Vojens and Sønderjyske were how nice the people were in that town. Like that you can play in Germany, and if your team's doing well, they love you so much. And if your team's not doing well, it can be the exact opposite. I guess I don't know Vojens or Sønderjyske losing because we never did, but we did lose the Pokal in the
Hmm.
final game. And we lost pretty handily, like 4-0. And Herning just seemed to have our number that year until the finals, which they went up 2-0. And then we
Yeah.
came back and did win. But they had our number. And when we would lose those games, man, the pressure you would feel as an import, as a guy that's moved over to Denmark to do a job, and then you get to those games and then it doesn't happen. Man, it's tough. But everybody was so nice to us all that year. And like, do you still have that JJ guy around minor hockey?
I think he's just a parent now. He had did he have 5 or 6 years as a GM of the minor hockey, and then he actually got on a season as the assistant coach at Sønderjyske, and then he signed in Esbjerg and had half a season and retired after. So now he's more a parent, but still involved in the junior department, but more as a parent than as a coach.
Well, he was a really good guy. And like I say, it doesn't take long to figure out who the really good people are. He was running like minor hockey or whatever back then, and he made a point of giving my son Colby his first ever hockey stick. Yeah.
Yeah,
And same with Jason Walters was it was Colby's birthday and he was my neighbor and gave Colby like a mini hockey package. It wouldn't be the same as what you're getting now. They're little plastic sticks with it was, but Colby carried that stick around for years. I
yeah,
have him on the ice in Cardiff the next season, and every time he'd go on the ice, he'd have that same blue stick Jason Walters gave him, you know? And it's nice when guys care about your kids and they're your teammates.
yeah. And you it's getting back into hockey is more than just a sport. It's a community that everyone buys into and everybody is a piece of. No matter in my opinion, every and I said that when I had the juniors always that every kid is a talent. It's they just have to use their talent differently. Some turn out to be hockey players, some turn out to be coaches, some turn out to be refs, and some are maybe just going to be spectators, but they're still going to be a part of the sport.
Yeah, and you guys do have a hockey town there, you know?
For sure, for sure.
The one thing I would say I didn't like, and I'm just being honest, is when you're a Canadian guy that moves into Voyance, everybody knows what you did that day. Like if I farted, everybody smelt
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You can't really go undercover in this city here.
No, it's not like Cardiff where you could get you can like go do something and people have no clue who you are. In Voyance, people know who you are.
Exactly who you are and exactly what you're doing. Yeah,
That's why I was a good boy all year.
yeah.
That's
True,
right.
true. We got home safe, so all good.
So the rink's all still the same, and you still got the weight room at the end of the hallway. Like, cause you get it, I always found it so interesting when it was like the opposite of Cardiff. When I got to Vojens and I see the town I'm driving into, and I'm like, wow, there's not much here. And then you
Mm.
pull up to like this mini NHL arena, and you're like, what is this doing here? And then you go to Cardiff the next season, and it's this big city with all the stuff going on. And then I pulled up to the arena, and it was like a big blue tent, they called it. And it was, I would say, the least professional arena I ever played in, but I'm into that stuff. So,
Mm.
but it was just so different. Like that Voyance has that arena in that little town is hilarious.
Yeah, but I think it comes back to Vojens being a hockey town. But everything looks the same. I think we got a little bit more color on the walls now. I think they're baby blue instead of gray as they were when you were here. But
Well, that makes sense. So
otherwise,
you guys
it's
are the baby blue.
baby blue always. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a nice arena though, and it makes you feel like a professional as a hockey player when you go into an arena like that, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. And dressing room is outstanding. And I think we were lucky to get a few new couches after last season. So I think that was the same from when you were there. I think they did their turn, but no, it's a great room, and having the room just before the dressing room for all the volunteers to be there and have their space to work on the gear and just sit down and have coffee. I think that makes a huge difference for being a volunteer and volunteering on a team where you know you're taken care of and you have your space to have fun and just be a regular guy and still being a part of the team.
Okay, that brings back a bunch of memories, but the first thing I'm going to bring up is Sønderjyske, the equipment guys, everybody that helped out the team was a volunteer, and they would show up and do all the stuff to be a part of it. And I appreciated that so much. I thought it was so neat that it's not guys getting paid, it's everybody coming together to help the team.
Mm,
It's the same as like this Ripley Wolves team here. You know, the GM still plays, the coach does it out of the goodness of his heart. All the players
mm,
play for free, and they muck it up as hard as anybody. And when you see a team in pro hockey that is built off of volunteers, you're like, well, this is maybe how it's sustainable in Vojens, Denmark, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then I think it's such a big part of what Sønderjyske is, and having so many people around as volunteers, and I think it makes it more open for the community also, that knowing that okay, the guy that you're standing in line when you're having groceries, he might be an equipment manager down at the hockey ring. And I think it just gives a beautiful way to connect the city and the team. We have one guy who's working as the equipment manager and is getting paid now that we only practice in the morning. So we of course need that, but otherwise I think we have 11 volunteers working at the games and coming in late after work, getting the skates sharpened for the next day. And yeah,
Well,
it's a very
you need a
fortunate situation.
full-time equipment manager. I mean, like I've been doing podcasts with my favorite equipment managers in hockey, and they're essential to a team.
Mm,
Like the that's
100%.
they take care of the guys. It's like you want happy hockey players. Happy hockey players play better. If your shit's not taken care of that you need to go out and do the game, you're not happy. And it's the equipment managers that make that happen.
Exactly, and just that little outlet for the players sometimes to go down and talk to the equipment manager instead of seeing the coach or the GM. That makes a huge difference for coaches too.
I totally agree. So, um, somebody asked me if I was going to get too old to be able to podcast with people still, and asked if I was still going to know players. I don't know that many players anymore. I'm just being honest, but I got a whole new
Mm,
wave of players coming. I got a whole bunch of puppies around here that are winners, and I get to know the players they're playing against. There's a whole nother wave coming, but most of the guys I played with are now coaches. And I
mm,
asked a guy a question on the podcast, and my uh, puppy from Western Michigan, Chris Frank, um, wrote to me the next day after I asked this question and said, "Can you please ask that question every time you do it? Because the drill he gave you, I used it with my kids and it changed the way we do it." And I said, "Of course I can." So, what is your favorite drill in practice?
Oof, that's a good question.
I
That's
know
a
it
very,
is.
very good
Thanks, Chris
question.
Frank. I'll keep going.
Yeah. No, but we have a warm up game with it's kind of similar to Monkey in the Middle with four guys passing with one in the middle, but we're doing it actually seven versus two. I call it the bumper game. So you have four guys lining up on the dots in the neutral zone. You have two defenders, and then you have a moving around bumper as an offensive guy, and he's moving around, making small picks on the defenders, making room for passes to in between the four guys. They can use him as a passing outlet, and they can change on the fly with that guy as well. And I think that comes
So
down
you're
to,
saying he can then switch to a guy on the dot and then he comes in as the bumper guy.
yeah, then he becomes a new bumper guy. And I love that game, and it's a great way to start to practice getting that warm up going, getting passes going, and get that head going, and also coming back to learning to play without a puck. You get the chance to not coach the guy who's having the puck, but coach the guys without the puck to create room for themselves.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. You got you. I've heard so many times someone just say the Canada Cup, and I'm like, shut your mouth. That is new. That is something I've never heard. So, there's four guys on the dots, two guys in the middle,
Yeah,
and a bumper. That's seven guys.
yeah.
Where's the rest of the team?
Three stations, three zones, 7-7-7. You got all 21 players going.
So they're doing something at one end, and this is what's happening in the middle of the ice.
They can go the same game in all three ends.
That's very true. God damn it. You just blew my mind.
No, but even working it in when we're working with forwards and D's separated, usually we obviously have more forwards than we have D's. It's a great way to activate seven players in the neutral zone and working with five or six players in the zone on battle games, goal scoring, puck protection, and they can play it kind of on their own. They don't have to have a coach standing there telling them the rules and correct them all the time. You just get a lot of passes and a lot of movement going all the time.
Ah, thank you for that answer. That was great. And I think Chris Frank will appreciate it too. And I found it so neat when it was Samuel Tremblay that came up with this drill last season. And then Chris Frank wrote to me and he was like, I used that at my practice this week and it was a game changer. And I said, I did too. And I agree. And he's like, could you please keep asking that question? I'm like, yes, I can. And then, you hear some of the same stuff and you're like, well, that's not very creative. That's not new. Um, Curious how you came up with that drill, but it makes a lot of sense. And it's teaching people how to defend, teaching people how to pass. And so what happens then if the defender gets the puck? Say he intercepts the puck, is then he on the dot
Then he changes with the guy who
who
fumbled the
fucked it up?
pass. Yeah, the guy who
Yeah.
fucked it up has to take the consequences
Yeah, it's
going
his
to
fault.
play in the D zone.
Yeah, that's hockey though, right? If you are carrying
Exactly.
it into the blue line and you're the one that turns it over, guess what you get to do? You get to play D
Yeah,
zone the rest of the shift, and then you get to change.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you put it
Exactly.
into the zone, you get to play offense, all shift probably, and then change on the back
Exactly.
check.
Yeah. See if you can become that fifth guy sneaking in from behind and yeah, fifth
Yeah, okay,
guy's
I'll just
on.
change now.
Yeah, then it's dump and change, not dump and chase instead.
But I always say it does take good coaching. Well, I don't say that actually, but I think it's neat that you're the new coach, but the coach last season I thought was one of the best guys on Sønderjyske that year. I always say you can pick out who the good guys are. Anders Forster is an unbelievable person, and I had to get Colby's passport done or something in Copenhagen, and he said, "You guys don't need to pay for a hotel. You can stay at my parents' place." And his parents welcomed us into their home for the night, stayed there, and then did the passport thing in the morning. And those are the type of teammates you want, are like, especially as a Canadian coming over, that saved me money going to get this done. Um, got to meet his parents, get to know them a bit, and then he was the coach, was winning everything by the looks of things, the Pokal, the league. Um, it, how are you the coach now?
He we started the second season together now, and he yeah, I don't know what's it called in English actually, but he took a leave of absence
Deal stuff.
to some yeah, and then the decision was made on a higher level that they wanted me to take over, and fortunately he found a new way, a new place to coach, and I'm happy that he's in Odense, and wish him all the best there.
Oh, so he's in Oden's now.
He's in Odense now, yeah.
Wonder if he's ready to podcast now. Because like he's a beauty, and I he got hockey, and I remember him at Who Day, right? Whatever it's
Hmm.
called, that party at the start of the year that brings the team
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
I remember him coming up to me and being like, because he was like a kid, and he was like, "You need to stay on the ice with us. You need to care about us more. You need to stay on the ice and do these drills with us and help us more. You need to help the kids more." And he was telling this to me when I first got there, like within the first month, and he was one of the kids. And I was like, okay, I'm like, I can do that, but maybe that's not me. Like when I was playing, I tried to be that guy that year and stay out later and do more things, but that wasn't me. I would rather do the practice as hard as you can and then go for lunch with the boys. And it's like,
Mm.
that's what I would rather do. I think that's more bringing us together than me passing a puck to you and you skate around a pylon. Um, and we had that conversation, but then I see him become a coach and I see he would have been instilling the same things into guys that what he believed in. And I believed in those too. But I'm like, you have other guys that want to do those things after practice is over. I'm usually tired and I need to get off. But he was he's a great guy. And I hope he is up for the pod because it looked like he had an incredible run when he first started as the interim coach.
Definitely, definitely.
Um, and the other person we haven't brought up that's a great coach and is now smashing it in Slovakia is Dan Seaman, who would have been the coach that year. Who like you talk about guys not staying on your team as much because of the budget and other leagues. Dan Seaman is a Sønderjyske boy.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I think he had 5 seasons as the head coach probably before he left, and did he win 3 gold medals if I
Well, and
remember it correctly?
even before that,
Even as a player, yeah.
as a
Even
player,
as
he
a
won
player,
there too.
yeah, yeah. And
And
same thing goes with the guy who came after him with Mario. He was there as a coach and as a player as well.
and Mario is a guy I don't know, but I have a lot of respect for. He was not coaching that season. He had taken like the year off or something when I was there, and Dan had taken over, and it was his first year as a head coach.
Mm,
And when I didn't go back to Sønderjyske and I wasn't asked back, out of the blue that summer, Mario wrote to me and said, "I've been watching the games all year, and I am on your team, and I will help you get a job." Um, and I appreciated that so much for a guy I had never talked to. He had just
mm,
watched the games, and I'll never forget it. And we talked. I remember I was working at a golf
mm,
course that summer, And he called me, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing next. And he called me, and he's like, "I could try to get you here. I could try to get you there." And I was like, "Man, I thank you." You know?
Yeah, but he's a great guy and a guy that's I used a lot in my years as a coach, especially when I was in the juniors and he was the men's league coach. I used him a lot and got a lot of advice for him, and he was always good to me. Took time to talk hockey, and I guess every coach likes to talk hockey, but I think he helped shape me as a coach.
Right. And so what type of coach are you? Because from when I played there and he had just been the coach and they had just won, I heard he was old school, which I appreciate, but when I look back at the coaches I had, I wanted to know they had my back. I wanted to know they were on my team, and I could do more for those coaches than the ones that I was afraid to make a mistake with,
Mm,
you know? So what kind of coach
yeah.
are you? Are you mean? Are you yelling at people?
uh, I'm raising my voice sometimes. Every coach need to be able to do that. But no, I think I'm a very modern coach. I always talk to my assistants about we have 5 times a season where we can start yelling at the team. After those 5 times, it just becomes white noise in the dressing room, and then that's the 5 times we have. So we have to use them wisely when we want to coach that way. But otherwise, I think I'm a very modern coach. I love really getting into coaching the players instead of just having them run drills and everything is in the flow. I want to take my time
Get to
to
know
really
them.
get to know them and get them to develop as players, especially now when we're younger. It takes longer and it takes more of a coach to really get into it with the players and looking at video, doing extra stuff with them on the ice. I think that's a big part of working with a younger group of as a team, and something I appreciate doing a lot.
Video. That's something I'd like to talk to you, coach with is
Yeah,
I when I played hockey, I knew when I made a mistake. And there'd be a time on a power play where you shoot, and then as soon as you shot, you saw your buddy with his
yeah,
stick,
that seam
right?
pass.
Yeah, and like you're like, "Oh no." And then you get to the bench and he's like, "Did you see me there?" I'm like, I saw it after, yes. Sorry. But then,
Yeah.
there's times where you screw up defensively, and there's times you screw up. It's hockey. You don't want to, but I didn't appreciate the coaches that would do video session and then just roast people. Like when I first got going, and this is well before your time, when I'm
Mm,
getting into pro, sometimes video would just be making everybody feel horrible. And I don't think that's what it should be. I think video should be showing people what's right. This
yeah.
is what we want to do. Why are we going to throw a guy under the bus when we're a team? Let's
Mm.
show what we should have done. But how much video do you guys do? Because I only remember about two video sessions with Dan Seaman.
Oh, then you're gonna get nightmares when you hear how much video we're watching.
I don't think
No,
I could be a hockey player anymore.
no, but we have if we go through like a week, we obviously we have the pre-scout looking at the opponent we're playing. We're usually taking a little bit from the last game that we played against them just to get some how are they breaking out against our trap and how we're breaking out against that trap. And then we use the second game, sorry, the last game they just played as the second game, and looking at the D zone, O zone tendencies in that game, and then we just got the third coach in now, and now we're dividing out the after scouts part, the feedback video. So we have D's watching 10 clips from the game that's specific for the D's, and we have 10 clips for the forwards specifically for them. And how we like to build it up is that we take a clip where we don't sort it out right, and then we have a clip right after where we sort it out right, so they can see the mistake, but they also can see that we actually know how to do it right. And often we try to get the same guy to be in both clips, so we can see that, okay, we made a mistake. This is how we're getting it going the next time.
This is right, this is wrong.
Exactly, just
It's
being
really
very
not
clear
that
on that.
hard of a game, right? When you just break it down. It's like, this is right, this is wrong. It's like going out to
Exactly.
block a shot. Did you lift your foot or did you actually want to? When a guy goes, it's like watching kids now. When a guy
Yeah.
goes out to block a shot, it's the same in pro. You
Yeah.
know if he actually wanted to block it. Did you
Yeah. Yeah.
actually want to block it?
Yeah, yeah. It's the same with centers when a wing is playing center. You can see it when he goes into that face off and he's shitting his pants because he don't know how to do that face off.
Right. And it's also the same like when you go to the face-offs and you can tell how engaged the wingers are to like,
Yeah,
yeah, the centers might tie up, but who's gonna get that puck? It's not maybe up to the centers.
exactly, exactly. That's true. That's true, but that's also something that we work a lot with our centers, watching video on the centers that we're going to play against and how they're doing their face off. So we have that little edge against them. If we know a guy he likes to tie up, then we have that little edge that the wingers already know that the opponent is trying to tie up. So we have one guy who can cheat and come in a little bit early on the play there.
Well, it is interesting how far the game's got with all the details, because the details are what wins, and video does help that if you do it in the right way. Um, but when you're only two coaches, I remember, so I played in Cardiff the year after. Then I
Mm.
went back for a night. It was a Wally night, which is ridiculous. But I went back and I couldn't believe how much it had changed. Like they went from being in this old big blue tent to then being in the big arena. Then I'm in the coach's room before the game, getting ready to do the pregame speech, and they were radioing up to guys up top. They were radioing down, like, when's this happening? When's that happening? And everything had gotten so big, I couldn't believe it. But if you're trying to do all this video with two coaches, you got to be putting in some time. Or do you have
Oh
a,
yeah, that's
because I remember in Cardiff, we had a player coach. Like, actually, I'm not old that when we went to Cardiff, we had a player coach. And
yeah.
the year I got hurt, he was trying to do it all by himself, but then realized I was there to help because I was hurt. So I became the power play coach, and then, but like I'd see him in between periods, and he would be checking everybody's ice time. He'd be getting clips sent to him. They'd have somebody up with an iPad sending him clips, and he's playing the game and doing all this. It was nuts. So, how much video do you have to do if you're the head coach? Like, do you ask? Because what I would want as a head coach is to be like, clip that. I just saw it. Clip it, send it to me. Clip that, send it to me. And then in between periods, I could be like, hey, remember this? Don't do that again.
No, but it's we're also having PK video. We're having a video for the goalies with tendencies in the way that the opponent shoots, and we divide it out to get everyone not doing too much video, and everyone's just doing one third of the part. I'm always doing the pre scout. I like to do that, and I like to get that talk in before the game on how we're beating them, not what are they doing, but how we're beating what they want to do. And I think that's a big part of how we want to work before games is looking into how do we beat them instead of just, okay, this is what they're doing.
That's very true. Yeah, watching what they're doing instead of how to beat them is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But how much,
exactly.
like, how, so I remember we would go do our workouts in that little gym in Vojens, and we'd be doing our workouts, and Dan Seaman, being old boy, would be on the elliptical, you know?
Yeah.
And he'd be on the elliptical, and every time he'd have an iPad watching hockey.
Mm.
How much hockey do you watch now that you're a coach?
Oof. I don't. I would say ask my girlfriend, but I don't think she would give you a very good answer to that because she's always looking at me and saying, "You're watching again." But oh,
Are you
at
watching
least
other
one.
leagues, other teams?
Yeah, at least 1 or 2 games per day, trying to get that in. That's for sure. And then we're lucky that we have that huddle program, so we can go in and drag stuff from all games that's always tagged, so we don't have to spend time tagging every game manually. But also being able to, if we see something from a game in Sweden that we think we can use on the power play or something like that, we can drag out those clips easily, and it's more knowing which clips do we want to have instead of having to find all those clips and spending time. So you can actually do it a little bit more without too many breaks on. And we also have a system called Wise Hockey. So actually, live during a game, we get how much are every player skating, how much average is he, how much time on ice, average time on ice, speed zones, how many successful passes, how hard is he shooting, how many
In the
times
middle
is
of
he
the game,
shot
you're getting this shit.
in the middle of the game. Yeah, so we usually have a laptop in and in the breaks and can catch up a little bit on, especially time on ice management is a huge key for us. So that's
So
obviously
if you
great,
had a player
great for
like
me.
me that has conditioning problems,
Stay in the ozone,
is it
then we're
gonna
good.
say like this guy's tired and Quirky's still buzzing?
I wouldn't be surprised if the average ice time said plus 55 seconds, and we had a little thing we had to talk about there, and not enough acceleration. Then we had a little thing we could go through there.
Things have dipped since the first period.
Yeah.
So it would tell you that. That would suck. Then maybe I wouldn't play in the third,
and
and that's when I like to play.
but also like getting a stat on how many seconds during a game does a player have the puck on his tape in control. I think that's very interesting to work with, knowing that even a PPD man who's moving the puck up and doing the breakouts and everything, he has the puck for an average of 1 minute to 110 per game. That's
Yeah.
how little time you're actually playing with the puck. So that coming back to the bumper game, coaching the players who's without the puck in order to find solutions for the guy who's with the puck.
Yeah. And they have to stay on the dots, right? Like, because I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. The D men that could move on the blue line, and I'm the winger trying to cover them. The guys that could move and then find something new, man, they were tough to deal with. Um,
Yeah,
but I wonder if there's a way to do that game where they could move a little bit to find a lane, but then you might have to add a third guy in the middle.
yeah. Perhaps
But
could be
I
a way.
really like that drill, and I would like to try it someday to see what goes on.
Yeah,
And
of course.
isn't that hockey that you're coaching a pro hockey team now in Vojens years later, and I'm learning stuff from you now, and you were just the puppy, and that's hockey. You got to learn from everybody.
That's yeah. No one, everyone is a part of the team, like you said.
Everybody helps, and it's the
Yeah,
volunteers in the room and all that stuff, right?
exactly, exactly.
The one thing I wanted to bring up while I still have you is gold helmets in Denmark.
Yeah,
I I it's the coolest trophy I have. I know I had my hard feelings afterwards because I thought I had done my job and I thought I had done everything asked of me that season and then not get asked back or like I thought I'd be getting a raise instead of being told not to come back. But gold helmets are the coolest trophy in hockey. Like if you put your chin strap on, can't get hurt.
yeah,
You could get some facial lacerations, but when you win those things and the whole team has gold helmets and you wear them on the ice and then you wear them out that night and maybe you wear them the next day walking the dog and the kid around Voyance, but you earned it. You have that
yeah.
helmet forever and they're so cool.
Yeah, it's like you said, that feeling when you're going out at the night and you see 25 guys around with golden helmets, and that's all you can see popping up at the bars there. That's a special feeling.
It's the best, and like they're versatile. You can use
Mm,
them the rest of your life. Me and my son used to play mini hockey for the gold
mm.
helmet, and whoever won the gold helmet. And
Yeah,
it's you can use them as bike helmets. You could use them for Halloween costumes. Like
yeah,
you can do anything with a gold helmet once you have it.
yeah. Show up to an old boys practice with a gold helmet. That's perfect.
I don't think I'm gonna do that. It'd be a bit too flashy, but um yeah, like isn't it interesting like how things work out is your head gets hurt when you're playing and now you're the head coach of your hometown team and like for me being out of the game and how proud I am of my old teams was when I first started this podcast there was NHL 20 something or other and in the game there were the Cardiff Devils and Sønderjyske. And my son and I could play Sønderjyske versus Cardiff. And I'm like, well, these are my last two teams. This is who I ended with. And now they're in the Champions League and now they're in the video game. And you don't really realize it as an import when you're going over there to play hockey. Like it's just a small town in Denmark. Like the
Yeah,
pride that that town must have to be in NHL video games, to win as many times as they have. Um, it's crazy when you actually get there and see that there's only three roundabouts in town.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You almost have to experience to believe
It's true though, and
it.
when I could play Cardiff against Sønderjyske, who do you think I was?
Hoping for Sønderjyske if you won.
Well, Cardiff asked me back for a Wally night. Sønderjyske asked
Yeah.
me to kindly
So
leave, but I get it.
we'll see if we can talk that at some point.
They had that gym at the end of the hall. I tried to use it. It's just wasn't my thing. But no, I appreciated everybody in Sudiyuski and how they treated us. And like, it's so weird when we got to the finals and all that. And we went from, you walk from Clovervie. Do the guys still have the same apartments?
No, most of them actually lives in Haderslev now.
Attaboy. Good job.
Yeah.
It's only a 10-minute drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but you'd walk from your apartment to the arena and you're like, I can't believe that there's going to be this many people in this arena tonight. And, and then you get to the finals and it's just packed with people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
where did these people come from?
Yeah, there's not even 5,000 people in Vojens, and all of a sudden you have 5,000 at a game.
It's crazy. It really is like
Yeah,
a unique spot in the world that such a small town can have such a great hockey history, really.
yeah, yeah, and so many great fans as well. Like I know fans who was a part of it from back then who's still following, going to every road game, and it's even though we on Wednesday we have a 4 hour drive to Frederikshavn, we still know that same guys are always showing up for those games. And we played Aalborg last week and had I think close to 200 fans on that away road trip for us, and that makes a huge difference as a player and as a coach, knowing that there's so much support and love for the team.
100%. And like it's a small town and it takes up those people's money. What they want to do on a weekend is go watch your hockey team play. And it does help your team.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The only other thing I got is so in Germany, I got there and I don't have the best body for a hockey player. I understand that. But they started feeding me schnitzels and all this great food and kebabs. and didn't know how to handle it. Then I got to Denmark. Your hot dog game is totally different than in Canada. Do you know that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could imagine that. I haven't had a hot dog in Canada, but I know that Danes are famous for their hot dogs.
Well, you have a bun where you cut off the top and then there's the hole, and then you
Yeah,
just jam the hot dog into the hole with the sauce, and then
yeah.
that's what you get. Where I had never seen that before.
And funny thing is, it's called a French hot dog. Actually,
And do the French actually do that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I've never seen it anywhere else where you're just jamming a
No,
hot dog into the hole.
no.
I'm not trying to talk dirty, folks, but you jam the hot dog into the hole and the
Yeah,
bun is crispy on the outside, soft in the middle, but then it's got this whole different sauce I had never tried with a hot dog.
yeah, yeah. And that's also called French hot dog sauce. So I don't know. The French gave us something good here.
At some point, eh?
Yeah.
But it's hard to put toppings on that because you got to jam it into the hole. So you can't
Yeah.
put all the things on it. But
No, no, exactly.
it was the most interesting, like, because when you travel around and you get to know food and where it comes from and what's going on, the hot dog game in Denmark, I just couldn't wrap my head around.
Oh, that's a bonus, some sausage and a little bit of sauce there. Then it's all good in Denmark.
And then the other thing was, because of my bad body, was on nearly every corner, you guys were trying to sell me cakes.
Yeah,
Like you guys like to
yeah,
bake cakes in Denmark.
yeah, yeah. Players like to eat cakes at practice.
Is that right? You guys are eating cakes. So I started the
We
chocolate
used
th
to we
I
used
started
to
th
eat
this
more
chocolate
cakes.
throwing in Herning, which I
Yeah,
thought was the weirdest thing in the world that I start this podcast and I get to know Matt Carruth and he's an unbelievable goalie. And then he goes to Herning from Cardiff and I'm like, "Do you think we can get this Twix thing going there?" And then they started throwing Twix on the ice every time they'd win. And I was like, "Wow, this is crazy that this happened from talking on here." And and in Cardiff, we did it a couple times. We did it a few other places, but Manchester, England, every time they win, they throw chocolate on the ice, and it started from this. And I think it's the weirdest thing in the world. Every time I see it, that I'm like, so me talking in my work computer for fun started a chocolate throwing craze in Manchester, England. Would you guys be allowed to do that if I try like his Herning's done, Mac's gone. I'm a
yeah.
Sønderjyske guy. I was never a Herning guy. I was just playing along because my buddy was playing there. Do you think that your fans would be allowed to throw chocolate on the ice after you won?
At least the first time until they get a different saying
Until
from
the
the
arena
security
staff
guys.
got mad, right?
Yeah, yeah. So might
It's
as well
happened
give it a shot.
before.
Yeah.
We had a Kit Kat get that night in Sheffield, England for Evan Mosey. He won player of the game. They won the game in overtime, and then there were like thousands of Kit Kats on the ice, and it was crazy. Um, I think it would be neat that for people to let us know they listened to us today and
Yeah.
haven't, forgot about me or you now, the head coach, which is cool. I think it would be pretty neat that you got to earn it, right? You only get chocolate if
Yeah.
you win.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you
That's true.
right? You don't get shit if you lose. That's hockey. You go home, you suck your thumb, you go to bed, and then you wake up the next day and try and be better. If you guys win the next game, I think somebody should chuck some chocolate, and I think that would be pretty neat, you
I
know?
agree. I think that could be a nice little tradition in Sønderjyske.
Right? And then we have our place where like Manchester's do it in the UK. But then Denmark's in a different country, and we could do our whole own thing there. And then it would be so neat, and it would bring it full circle that, yes, I went to Vojens, I did the best I could, I worked as hard as I could, and yes, I have a bad body, and people are bigger and taller and stronger than me. I understand that. But we won. And
Yeah.
winning's fun. So when you win as a head coach and you were my puppy, wouldn't it be neat that we started chucking chocolate after wins until they tell us not
Yeah,
to?
yeah, that sounds like a very good idea.
Okay. Well then,
I'll blame you
I could get
when
right
the
invested
security
in your
guys come.
team then. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird for me with hockey because I care about the people I know. And
Mm.
now I know you're the head coach and I care about you. And I cared about Fuzzy too last season. And I wanted him to come on and have a chat. But like you guys are beauties and you're what hockey needs and you're what teams need. And if I can help in any way, I will. And if I was a hockey player and you won a hockey game and people started chucking chocolate on the ice because you won, I'd be like, this is funny and fun.
Yeah, yeah,
And then in Manchester, like they they put the names and numbers of what the guys want on chocolate bars and they throw them. And then wouldn't that make a player feel special that they got a chocolate bar thrown on the ice for them? Like, you're my favorite player. Thanks for winning. And then guys are having fun, teams are winning, and it's fun. Hockey's fun, right? It's supposed to be fun.
exactly. Exactly. Makes it easier to win again, perhaps.
Right, because when
Mm.
everybody's in a good mood, it's a lot easier to play good the next day.
For sure. For sure. That's
Well,
not a bad plan.
okay. Well, we'll see if anybody listens to us. I don't know if anybody's listening to us anymore. I just do this because it makes my days better and it's fun and it's my hobby and I like catching up with the good guys in hockey, and that's exactly who you are. And
Thank
to
you.
see you being the coach of that team now, after seeing you as a kid, Um, man, it is so neat to see because as soon as I met you, as soon as you were around and you were just open to new ideas, open to what role do you want me? How do you want me to help? What do you want me to do? I think that's what teams need. And I
Thank
think
you.
Sønderjyske made a great pick. So
Thank you.
good
Thank you
luck,
very
sir.
much. Thank you.
Do
Thank
you,
you.
do you have any questions before we shut it down? The only thing I forgot, actually, now that I've first looked at my notes, is the only guy on your team that is still there that I played with. Do you know who it is?
Who could that be? We don't have that many guys who've been there for that long.
He went away for a while.
Thomas Lilja?
There you are. Lily
Yeah,
pads, the
yeah,
goalie.
yeah,
He,
yeah,
yeah, he was like 17 and he was the backup and he would play the games Alfie didn't play. And then
yeah.
yeah, he's still kicking, eh?
Oh yeah, he's a great goalie. He actually retired for a year. We brought him out of retirement, and he finally signed in Sønderjyske after almost 10 years away from the club. So we were very happy that we got him back, and he signed a multiple year deal. So it's nice to know that we got a good goalie under contract for a couple of seasons.
That's awesome for him too. And I know what it's like retiring and wishing you didn't have to, and that
Hmm,
he knows he wants it and he'll do what it takes. I mean, sometimes you can go through seasons over the whole thing where you lose track of what it actually takes to win. I think taking a year off and coming back at that age and knowing this is what I want to do and this is why I want to do it will make him better.
I agree, and he's coming into his prime time as a goalie right now. So I think we're in a great spot with having him on the team.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're doing everything right, and I knew you would be because I met you as a young
Thank
buck,
you.
and I was impressed. And you you are who you made you, and your old man was a beauty. Um, like he was as when I was done in Germany and I went to the airport in Denmark to get there or Hamburg, and the GM's waiting to pick me up and um like took care of anything I asked for or needed throughout the year. He was the type of guy you wanted to play for, and I think that was why I was hurt when I wasn't asked back, was because
Mm,
I liked everybody there.
mm. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's tough when some plans are going in a different direction, but
Well,
you landed well in Cardiff and then are into coaching now, so that's a success story.
I guess so. Yeah, no, yeah, and you just do the best with whichever team you're on each year. But it's pretty neat for a guy to grow up in Voyance, come up as a coach in Voyance, and then get to be the coach. I think
Yeah,
that's a real success story.
thank you, thank you. Has been a dream coming through for me.
Yeah, no, and you earned it by the looks of things, and you worked your way up. You did everything right, and very proud of you, my little Danish
Thank you.
puppy. And hopefully somebody in Denmark listens to this and then just throws like a chocolate bar to the next win, and
I'll
then who knows what could happen, right?
exactly. I'll make sure to share it with a few guys in the fan department. Maybe they can get it going a bit.
And then it could be a thing, right? And then like
Oh yeah,
it could be a thing. And then we could always
yeah,
have this, you know? They just might have
exactly.
to go to what's that German town? Uh
Yeah, to Flensburg.
Flensburg to buy the chocolate because I heard there's a tax. So if the
Yeah.
fans want to go to Flensburg, pick up some chocolate, and then when the team wins next, have at it, right?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
And then the boys will be having fun, eating chocolate, and then drinking their protein shakes in between. It'll all be good.
Little Snickers and a protein shake. That's perfect.
But no, seriously, I am really proud of you and everything you've
Thank
done.
you.
But I could see it happening. I could see the guy you were and who you were when you were a kid. And people don't change. I've noticed that doing this. You talk to people years later, the people that were good people are still good people.
True, true.
And
Thank you.
yeah, and anyways, I guess that's that. And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Stocky and Wally.